Welcome to the Travis Mills Show right here on Apple Music One. That right there was Don't Go Insane by my in-studio guest, singer, songwriter, producer, director. The man does it all, DPR Ian. Sitting across from me, man. How you doing?
Thank you. First of all, it's an honor to be here, so thank you so much for having me on your show.
Dude, I'm stoked to have you, man.
Thank you so much.
It's awesome that we're getting to sit across from each other and do this in person as well.
I know, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
That song right there can be found inside Apple Music's new and alternative playlist. I want to start this off by congratulating you, man. Because over the weekend, you released your 7-track EP, Dear Insanity. It's available right now on Apple Music for everyone listening. We're going to be digging through the project this hour.
Amazing.
And kind of peeling back the curtain, man. And I know you got some stories.
Oh, boy, do I. Thank you.
How do you feel now that the EP's out?
Honestly, it feels surreal. Everything's been happening so fast. I couldn't process it. But I feel like I'm processing it just now, in real time. So very overwhelming, but very super excited, honestly.
Yeah,
so
I mean, dude, just looking, at everything, obviously the songwriting, the production, the artwork, the music videos, you can tell blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh my goodness.
Went into this.
Definitely. Definitely a lot more. And, with an amazing team, I think that's the only way it was possible. And I have to give a lot of credit to the team. It's thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. It really does. It means a lot.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, I want to get into some more songs. I want to play the opening track of the EP. It's a song called Famous Last Words. Before I press play, though, what can you tell me about this? It's the intro. It is the opening credits to this world that you've created.
Yes. So this song is pretty much about it's based on a universe that's called The Other Side, and pretty much it's an adventure into this unknown territory, and it's his famous last words before he gets sucked into this completely new dreamlike world. And it's pretty much he's writing a letter to his future self, and in the letter it says, if he ventures in too deep to this place, he knows he's going to go crazy.
He's gone too far.
You went insane, hence the album. So it starts off with a letter, and as he finishes writing it, he gets pulled into this universe called The Other Side. And that's pretty much where it starts. Yeah.
I love it. Well, we're going to start it right now.
Really interesting.
Famous last words. More DPR Ian right after this.
Insanity.
Welcome to The Other Side right there by my guest, DPR Ian.
Wow.
I mean...
Welcome to The Other Side.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm here, man.
Oh,
and,
wow.
I guess I'm fascinated by the process, right? Because when you sit down and you even, begin... to start digging into a project like this, where does it start for you?
I think for me, I've always been a very visual person. So for me, I love imagining things. So before sonically, I think visually I start the process. So I imagine a character, what that character might be wearing, what that character might be going through in terms of mood, and what the setting might look like, whether it be day, night, midday, and just what world is kind of built around that person and the motive. And then I don't know, somehow I just can hear that.
Has your mind always worked like that? Like even when you were growing up and in school?
Oh, 100%. Ever since I was a kid, I think. Ever since I was first introduced to music, when I listen to it, I just start imagining. And oftentimes I'll just kind of repeat a certain part of the song over and over again until I got the imagination process correct. So it'll drive my parents nuts because I'll just be the speakers playing the same thing over and over again. But for me, it was so important to get that right in my head, and I've been doing that ever since, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's working out well, man.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Oh my God.
I know that last year you released your album Mood Swings Into Order.
Yes, that's correct.
The thing that I love about this and that I noticed is that you use the same photo.
Yes.
But for this EP, it's manipulated. It gives me Hunter S. Thompson vibes.
Oh, wow.
And the animation, and there's butterflies all over it. And there is a thread, between both of these projects.
Yes, there is.
How is this new EP, the prequel to Mood Swings Into Order? And where was Mito and Mr. Insanity born
from? Wow, thank you so much for understanding it's a prequel. It's actually, so the story of my old album, Mood Swings to Order, it's based on the character that represents my manic lows. And so because I have bipolar, I have my manic highs and then my manic lows. So originally it started off with just a character Mito, and I was like, I had to build a whole universe around him. But to me, it didn't make sense to just have him because obviously when I'm in my manic highs, I was like, oh, I needed a character to represent that as well. And I think both of them complete each other. So this time I was like, I made it a mission almost to bring Mr. Insanity, which is the character's name for this EP, to life. And for me to do that, I need to go back to the origins. And I said this before, but the other side is the universe that they are both born from. And, well, theoretically, this is it means more of a universe that's in the subconscious mind. And that's kind of exactly what I'm portraying. And what people see is literally what I experience. So I dream a lot. And in my dreams, I lucid dream quite a lot. And
do you really?
Yes. Even that. Ever since I was a kid, I've been doing that quite a lot. I know they say it's not healthy, but I've been lucid dreaming a lot. And in my dreams, I see like these doors, I guess you could say, which is why in the music video there's a lot of doors present. Yeah. But I feel like the more I go through these doors, the more I unlock in my consciousness. And that's kind of the tale of it. But I feel like the more deeper you go in, the more you're bound to go insane. And I think that's pretty much what this means. And later on, you see Mr. Insanity and Mito, the character, they meet, which is kind of weird because I've never had my manic lows and my manic highs meet in person, obviously. But essentially, I thought that would be such an interesting story to depict, because I've always wondered what that would have looked like or felt like. And me being just Christian Ian, I'm just kind of stuck right in the middle of it. So I thought, it does come from me, but I'm always battling with either going down or going manically high. And yeah, that was just a whole process, and that's kind of where it really links, yeah.
What was that decision to, take your mental health and turn it into something, that the whole world can relate to and enjoy?
I think you hit it on the point. I think it was relatability. I think for me, the biggest question actually I asked was, should I even become an artist? Because I know once I do make this my thing, the only thing I feel like I would even come close to just talking about is the things that I go through, which is mental health. And, for me, I knew that was kind of a dangerous route at the same time, because at the same time I am giving these disorders a name, and, you're giving a lot of power to it. So for me, I had to really sit back, and I kind of knew what path I was going down. But what outweighed that source was, for example, if someone was to listen to this or see it from the other side of the world, or anywhere actually, and just be able to feel some type of comfort or aid, I think that was enough for me. And that was kind of the reason why I was like, you know what, let's be very vulnerable, but let's be very transparent about this. And yeah, I kind of made it that. And I always say this to everyone, I don't really have the answers for a lot of my mental health, even my problems. I don't have answers, but I can probably help you relate to it. And if it does that, then great,
Yeah. I don't think anyone is, ever has it all figured out, right? I'm someone who, I struggle with OCD. I have, awful anxiety, and it's something that I've kind of had my entire life.
Wow.
What's something that's helped you?
Expressing. I've always realized just, ever since I was a kid, actually, I've thought, man, the only way to ever get these things out of me is if I do music or watch something. But on top of all of that, it's definitely a good support system. So my team, I'm very fortunate enough to have a team that backs me up with everything I do. And when things go wrong, and sometimes I'll have mishaps here and there. I'll go on when I'm in my state, when I'm going like in my manic state, my team would like cut the Wi-Fi off just in case I do something crazy with the live. And so it's good to have an amazing supportive team. I think that definitely helps in the long run.
Yeah, man. I mean, surrounding yourself with friends and family that care about you and want nothing but the best.
Yes.
When you're in it, at times, it can feel the exact opposite.
Oh yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah. It, for me, it was a hard thing to come by because I'm not a person that, I'm very independent, so I have a hard time asking for help because I don't want to burden anyone else with that. And I think because of that thought, I forever kind of just almost just held it to my own self, and I was like, I'll just figure out myself. But I think as I got older, I realized, it's not it's not that bad to ask for help. And, you know, most times it could definitely help you out for sure. So I've learned over these past years to be able to ask for help. I think that's an important thing. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Well, your music is definitely helping people. And with that being said, I want to play some more of it if it's okay with you.
Oh, 100%. Thank you.
I want to get to Bad Gold.
Okay.
We're going to play it right now. More DPR Ian right after this.
Thank you.
Ian, that right there was his song, Bad Cold.
Wow.
I mean, I'm such a sucker for incredible vocal production.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
No, of course,
wow,
man.
Appreciate it, man.
Talk to me about some of your influences, you know, that help shape the direction.
For me, I think as a kid, I loved watching musicals a lot. So I remember that really blew my mind. You know, Cats was the first thing I watched when I was in primary school back in Australia. And I was so fascinated with the idea that people could be turned into anything, you know, and it had me so convinced that they were cats and not people. That kind of really blew my mind. And I was like, wow, you really can make something so visually stimulating and sonically. And I think when it came to just music in general, I remember I got my first CD, it was the Daft Punk CD in primary school, and I
hear that all over the
Oh
CD,
my goodness. Oh, yes.
I do.
I just had it on repeat. I just didn't know what it was. It was my first time ever really sitting down and just listening to it. Discovery. And it was just so mind-blowing for me, even up to this day. And, you know, back then we had just, you know, CD, like Walkmans. You know, you put a CD player, CDs in. Every time you walk, you'll skip a beat. Yep. So, I mean, I grew up like that. So, but I'll just stand still for most of the time, just trying to listen to the whole song. Daft Punk and Electric Light Orchestra, love them. You know, Moby. It's just all of these artists that just blew me away ever since I was a kid. I just would still listen to it even now, and it would just be so timeless. So yeah, that was a lot of my influences for sure.
That's amazing, man. I know, you know, with you being born and raised in Sydney.
Yes.
I feel like there's something in the water with Australians.
Really?
Y'all have your finger on the pulse of incredible pop music. You know, it's you,
yes.
Kylie Minogue,
Kylie
Troye Sivan. I mean, having huge moments just in music in general right now. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know, actually. I find that quite fascinating as well. I think I do know what you mean, but I think in Australia, I've always realized there were a lot of people that were talented. I think it's just the open-mindedness and the environment for sure. Australia in general is just, the people are friendly. You'll hear all the time. You'll probably meet a new friend every Friday night you go out, you know, and you might end up being your best friend. So we always have like a very, I think, open culture about everything. But at the same time, I've realized in Australia, because it's so laid back, if you have so much ambition, it's hard to just stay there.
Yeah.
You have to kind of move out to LA or something.
And you're in LA now.
I guess so.
What's it been like creating here?
I've definitely an experience for sure. I love LA because, well, number one, the weather is very similar to Australia. Before this, I was in Korea, and the weather in Korea is just all over the place, to be honest. So I think for me, I didn't realize how greatly weather affects me in terms of mood.
I have the worst seasonal depression. Like,
you do?
Yeah, if it's raining, like, it
hits you as well?
Yeah, super bad.
Okay, great. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that really does it for me, you know. And I feel like LA, there's so many places that, well, to me anyway, there's so many special gems, just going certain places. And I haven't been here for that long. I've only been here for about a year and a half. But even with that time length, I've just been so in and out of the country that I haven't really grounded myself yet. So I think this time around, it was the first time in a long time that I felt grounded. And yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. Yeah.
What's a place here that's inspired you or maybe taken you by surprise?
Well, I definitely love Malibu. I love Malibu. Man, there's something about that place. And
have you made music up there?
Oh man, I actually, yes. I know I edited my music videos in just Malibu. Got like a nice Airbnb and.
Yeah.
But funny enough, I just edited, so we didn't really go out. So I was like, why are we?
Malibu's great. It's a great place to create because it's kind of a sleepy town. You wouldn't really think of it, but everything there closes really early.
Oh, right.
And so, like, really the only thing to do, you know, if it's past, like, 7 or 8 p.m. is, like, go to the beach.
Right.
You know, or kind of stay in and get to work.
Oh, wow. The beach was amazing, like you said. I think you get a better view of the sunset over there.
Yeah.
It's so nice. I love the sunset here. The color of the skies are phenomenal. I was like, I never seen the colors go like that. You know, sometimes you have shades of purple, violet, and other times it's just blue, you know, but different shades. I think that's so different and uniquely so. Yeah, I just really love the skies here.
You're making me feel jaded, bro.
Oh, really?
I'm ungrateful. I think I'm just used to it. I need to pay more attention.
Have you been here your whole life?
I'm like Southern California, born and raised.
Wow. Would you ever just like stay here, or do you want to move somewhere else?
I don't want to go anywhere.
Anyway, okay. That's
every time I leave, if I go on tour or anything, as soon as the plane is landing or I'm on my way home, I'm like, I could never leave.
Oh, wow. You get homesick, hey?
Yeah.
I could see that, though. I could definitely see that.
What's the most LA thing that you've done or that's happened to you since you've been here?
What's the most LA thing? Maybe like house parties.
Okay.
Is that the LA thing? I don't, I think so. Because we don't usually have house parties, especially in Korea. I've never had them. So I think that's the most LA. I'm sorry if that's not LA enough, but that's probably the most LA thing I've ever had.
Cool, man.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much an introvert, so I don't really like go out too much. But I found that very fascinating. Yeah.
Well, before the release of Dear Insanity, you released a couple of singles, including So I Dance.
Yes, that is correct.
What's your favorite moment from creating this song? Do you have a memory that kind of sticks out above the rest?
For So I Danced, so for me, what happens is when I switch characters, so does the song. So funny enough, when I started making the song, I started as Mr. Insanity, but then I switched in the middle to Mido, and that's when the song got completely affected. That will be an interesting process where I'll start as one person making the song and I'll finish it as a different person, and that's kind of what happened to this song. So
we're gonna play it right now.
Yep.
So I Danced. Let's go. Here with DPR Ian live in the Apple Music Los Angeles studios, talking about his EP Dear Insanity. It's available on Apple Music right now, and that right there was another single, Peanut Butter and Tears. Now I know that you said that things start out visually for you.
Yes, that's
when
correct.
It comes to a song like this.
Yep.
I mean, where do you go from there? You have this image in your head?
Yeah. So I think for this, it was at this point I was kind of really already deep into the story of the EP. Which is essentially about the creation of this character called Mr. Insanity. And as he ventures deeper into this universe, as he opens more doors, he comes across his youth. And when I thought about that, I just try to remember what my youth was like. And it's a funny thing, we don't call it peanut butter and jelly in Australia, we call it just a sandwich. But I heard in America everyone calls it peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was interesting because I thought you guys literally put like jelly, not jam, in the sandwich.
Wait, what's the difference between jelly and jam?
Oh, for jelly, because we think like jelly is like those Haribo jellies. And
oh yeah.
so,
okay.
Yeah. So for us, it was always fascinating when people said, "Oh, they eat peanut butter and jelly." I'm like, what? Really? You put jelly inside like Jello? So I got to try that one day. So I really did try it like that. And they were like, no, they meant jam. And I was like, okay, that makes so much more sense. So that was like the whole process. And I thought, okay, ever since I was a kid, I also did eat a lot of peanut butter and jam. And for me, it was kind of more about the process of what was the fun part for me as a kid. And it was the jelly or the jam. And, as you get older, the peanut butter, I reckon, stays the same. It's forever endless. It will just forever taste the same. I feel like the jam always tastes a bit different. So I kind of changed that into tears. It's kind of growing up, really. Everything gets a little briny, a little bit. Some things just stay the same, but other things just get a little bit more salty.
So if you were sitting in a room trying to come up with lyrics, I don't know if you would ever write that down, but if you're sitting down thinking about what life was like when you're younger and it's all in images.
Oh goodness, yeah. Just comes straight away. Do you remember a lot of your childhood?
I remember pieces. Right. I was just talking about this the other day. I remember the strangest things. I can remember like the first car accident I ever got into when I was a kid.
Oh,
but
goodness.
like I can't remember my that same year, like my birthday.
Oh, interesting. So like more shocking moments for you.
Or no, not even like I can remember like eating pizza with like my friend on like his roof after we climbed out of like his bedroom window.
Oh wow.
But I don't really remember like graduating like sixth grade. Like I remember the weirdest things.
Interesting. Like do you remember when you first had something and it tasted so good though? And then you just couldn't like forget that taste, whether it be a cookie or a chocolate.
Yeah, I remember the first time I had Taco Bell.
Oh, is that a universal thing? Me too. Me too. Oh my goodness, me too. I love that. I couldn't believe this was a thing. Yes.
And I used to skateboard like up to the Taco Bell by the house I grew up in. Wow. And I thought I was like so mature and cool because I would skateboard or like ride my bike by myself to a fast food restaurant when I was like really young.
I love that. I love that so much. I love that.
I'm also a big sucker for nostalgia.
Oh yes.
You know, so like I'll go and drive by like the house I grew up in, like I don't know, once every couple months, around Christmas time especially. Wow.
Oh my goodness, I don't know when the last time I did that was. Isn't it back in Australia? How does that make you feel? Because I've always wondered about that.
Oh, it brings up a lot of emotions, man. It you know, rustles up memories that I thought I forgot. It makes me sad at times but also like it's really cool to see how far I've come, you know, and like what I've been able to overcome and what I've been able to achieve. And, you know, that little kid that grew up in that house, if I kind of showed him everything that we were going to do together,
wow,
it'd be hard to believe.
It would be mind blowing,
you know?
Yeah. Wow. So interesting. I've always wondered about that. I've always wondered how that would have felt, just going back to the place I grew up.
You've never, you haven't?
No, I haven't been back for so long. I always tell myself, next time I go to Australia, I'm definitely going to go back to the place I grew up in. And I never do, so I've always wanted to. I don't know what's holding me back, but interesting, wow. I guess that's the moment where you could really just stop and just suck in the moment and then just realize what's been happening your whole life.
Yeah, it's also interesting too because it's like if I stayed here, my life would be completely different. It's almost like you come to a fork in the road. You know? And it's like, all right, if you go down this is how it plays out. But what would have happened?
Do you ever wonder that? Like, what if? All the time.
I think in like parallel universes.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness, that would be quite. I've always wondered that too. Wow. Goodness, I wonder what I would have been. Yeah, I always think about that.
What would you be doing if you weren't making music?
That's an interesting question. I think for me, I definitely would have wanted to venture into something sporty, athletics.
Did you play a lot of sports growing up?
I did play a lot of sports growing up. I swam a lot. I did everything. Just athletics. Because in Australia we have athletics carnival, which we hold. What is it, like monthly or no, not monthly? Like every once a year. Yeah, once a year we always hold it. But I didn't know I was good at these things until we had these moments. So then I got really into sports. I wasn't too good at rugby because everyone was just so much bigger than me. So for me, I did play a lot of rugby, but my thing was, the reason why I got so good was I tried not to get caught, because the minute I get caught, I just get obliterated by all these other big fellas. And so for me, my mission was, that's why I think I got really good at it, because I had to dodge so many things.
The stakes were high.
The stakes were really high. My life was on the line. And I think that's why I got so invested into sports. It was like another segue of just being active, and it was stress-free. So something probably in the sports side, but I'm not too sure what.
What was that switch like for you when you went from, being an athlete to making music?
Oh, goodness. I think the switch happened when I went to performing arts school after primary school. And I just remember watching, because back then, I grew up in a place called Wollongong, and that's where the scene was. And technically back then, like, metal was a thing, like hardcore metal, punk, emo music. Yeah, dude. Right, I was so into that scene, and I remember my mates took me to the youth center just to see the local bands perform. And at that time, there was a band called Carpathian, I Killed the Prom Queen.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Right, they were just starting off. And I remember just going to one of their gigs, and that's the first time when I saw the pit and everyone just pitting, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to get into this. And I think that's when it shifted for me, just live music, the influences of my friends, and just what it can do to people. And ever since then, I've been a scene kid. Like, I've never grown out of it. Went to all the hardcore shows, and did those weird two-steps, arm swings, and
mosh.
Yeah, you have to mosh.
Yeah, dude.
And even now, like, even if I have the time, I'll check out like stick to your guns or something. I'll go to their concerts. And
so my friend Casey was their original drummer. They're from Orange County.
Yes, that's right.
I grew up in Riverside, California.
Oh,
so I grew up with all those dudes.
Wow, bro, that's crazy, man. Because I was like, because back then I was the biggest Stick to Your Guns fan, and come back here, I was just like,
my favorite hardcore band right now. Yeah. They're from Australia.
Are they?
A gang called Speed.
Speed. Oh my god, I'm not sure.
Check them out.
Speed. They're called Speed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check them out.
Absolutely insane.
Wow. Okay. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Yeah, I have to go.
I have a similar story from you though, because I was playing baseball. I was playing ice hockey, and a buddy of mine was in a metal band. Yeah. And we had a local venue called Showcase Theater where I grew up, and he was like, "Come to my band show." Yeah. It was his band. Suicide Silence. Oh wow. Band Underneath the Gun, and I went to that, and it completely changed my life.
I'm telling you, you guys have to go to one of these shows. Yeah. That's what it does. Wow, I haven't heard that in ages. My goodness.
Well, yeah, when you started saying I killed the prom queen,
yes,
we're on the same page.
Yes, man. We are. Oh my goodness. Wow.
But you know what I love about you too, man, and I saw it when I watched the music videos, and it kind of takes me back to the whole DIY. Is what you've created. With DPR.
Yes.
Right? You look at the credits.
Yes.
And it's DPR Cream. It's it's all of your boys. Like it feels like you guys have really created something special together, which is reminiscent of the scene.
Right.
That we both grew up in. How does something like this start? And do you take inspiration, from those early days of creating it yourself?
That's a really interesting thing that you brought up. I don't think anyone has ever made that connection. But you're absolutely right. For me, growing up in that scene, it was always about, loyalty and, everyone was like... Family, standing up, like straight edge and all that type of stuff. And for me, it just kind of left an imprint. I was like, if I wanted to do something, I would rather do it with people that I can grow with. Why do this by yourself? And for me, that was always kind of the end. I really wanted to cement that with just the people that I did it with. And I never like starting, just doing it with one person and then switching. I always want to just grow with, certain people. And I think that was the goal for DPR way in the beginning. And now we have a very, very sturdy team, and I'm very thankful for it. Our team's growing. And yeah, it's just been it's been a heck of a ride, and it's honestly so worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's so cool that you pointed it out.
Oh no, dude! I mean, I love seeing stuff like that.
Wow.
And I can only imagine, how good it feels to be able to do this, right, with everyone that you really came up with. And I know, this year you had an insane time slot at Coachella.
Oh goodness, yes.
Right? what was that like for you?
I was so amazing. I think it was on the. Oh goodness, I had no idea. I didn't know what to expect. And prior to that, I've only obviously heard of Coachella, but I've never been to Coachella. And it was crazy to now this is my first time, and we're performing there for the first time ever, and this was going to be our first experience. Honestly scared, but very excited. And then when when we saw our fans just all there, and I was just like, this is insane. It was such a magical moment. And what was funny was we were near the end. I think we were the last act, and
you closed out Coachella.
Yeah. Oh, well, that.
By the way, just to put it in perspective, it is the most iconic festival,
100%,
ever in America.
I know. So that was what was really crazy about that. And I remember I think right after Blink 182 were playing, and I was like, man, I gotta go watch that. I see them get on stage at the very far end. I can see in the corner of my eye, and I was just like, it was such a surreal thing for me, just performing in front of people. I have one of my favorite bands playing over there, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Just taking in the moment,
That's
so
amazing.
Truly blessed.
Yeah,
truly
well deserved.
Thank you so much.
I want to play my producer Dom's favorite from your EP.
Oh wow! Okay.
We were kind of going through the songs together.
Amazing.
And I figured I'd shout him out for a second. But track 7, it's the last song from the EP. It's a song called Violet Crazy.
Yes.
Talk to me about the intention behind this one before we play it.
So Violet Crazy is actually the very first song that started off this whole EP, which is why I think for me it's one of the most important songs. And it's actually one of my favorite. It's my favorite track. And for me, this song really kicked off the whole Insanity series, and that's why I wanted it to be the end. Because in terms of the story, that's I'm playing it in reverse. So he's going into the character of Insanity, and I always assign colors to these characters. So Insanity being gold, green, and finally violet, and which is why at the end when all he sees is violet, he goes violet crazy. And yeah, it's a very special song to me. But yeah,
we're gonna play it right now with DPR Ian right after this. Violet Crazy right there by my in-studio guest, DPR Ian, sitting across from me. Now, look, we're talking about some death metal. We're talking about some hardcore. Yeah. I told you about Speed.
Love to.
If it's okay with you.
100%. Let's do it.
We might take the biggest detour ever that we've ever taken on Apple Music.
I love it. Let's do it.
Here, the song's called Not That Nice. Speed. It's from the Gang Called Speed EP. We're going to play it right now. Let's check it out. Dude, it's so good.
It's so good.
Longest intro ever.
Oh, that's an intro? No.
This is where you two-step.
Wow, yes. Oh my, yeah. You know that breakdown.
So what?
You know this breakdown's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Oh my god. Almost got
All right,
out
on
my
a scale
chair.
of 1 to 10.
Bro, that's a 10, bro. That's oh my god. Sorry, you got what? Wait. I almost got out of my chair. My god. Oh.
Australia, baby.
Oh my
Bringing
Lord.
it.
Bro, that's next level. It's like it definitely wow. It's crazy, man. Because I grew up with a lot of hardcore, man. But just seeing it develop like that, it's crazy. You can see the development of hardcore metal as well. Oh, it's insane. Holy.
I'm really glad we got to share that moment, man.
Oh my Lord.
If you're just tuning in, I'm wrapping up my conversation with DPR Ian talking about the latest EP.
I'm sorry, I'm just like, I just can't get out of the moment right now.
The latest EP is called Dear Insanity. It's available right now on Apple Music. Now, with this project being the prequel,
yes.
I mean, is it safe to say, like, is there more installments? Is there more developments? Like, what are you thinking, music-wise?
So, definitely. So, I think just like I have like this main storyline, which is about the last album, Mito. But this too is kind of like the prequel, and then there's going to be sequels. So, everything that I create in terms of just my artistry, my discography, it's all based on like a storyline, and what we get as EPs or maybe official albums, they're all branching into this whole storyline. And yeah, that's the continuity of it. Sorry, I was about to like two-step here right now. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. And there is going to be future projects based on this in terms of the character Insanity and Mito. So I think sonically, some of my fans know this, but sonically Mito has a more very dark orchestral string-based type of pop, and Insanity has more of an electro indie type of sound. And I like to assign certain sounds for certain characters, and I think, you know, if you're looking for more of that dark orchestral sound, then, you know, you got to go to the Mito albums. But if you're looking for more indie EDM type of thing, then you can go to Insanity. So that's kind of how I'm laying it out, I guess.
Well, I know that you also released the Mito short film as well.
Yes. Oh, wow, yeah.
I mean, do you ever see yourself kind of expanding into like a full film or a TV show franchise? Or
you know what? I absolutely would love that, because I think what we're doing now is we're trying to do that in terms of the music videos. And, you know, me and my team were just, we're having this conversation, but it would be so cool if the Mito 3 official album, the movie, we make a movie and we screen it, and we get just like exclusive fans to just come watch it for the screening, just rent out a cinema or something like that. And we just thought that would be such a cool idea to do for our next big album or something. But definitely, I would love for this to hit the screens, the big screens. It would be something.
I feel like it's a no-brainer for you, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you would knock it out of the park.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
As we approach the end of 2023, you know, what's the plan for you for the rest of the year and obviously the beginning of 2024? I mean, are you focused on live shows? Are you focused on more visuals?
Wow, I can't believe it's already the end of 2023.
It's crazy to say.
Wow, that I didn't really think about it until you put it into perspective. Wow, it's already the end of 2023. Wow, we did a lot. For me, I think definitely this whole album took a big chunk out of it. We also finished World Tour right at the beginning of this year. And I think for the end of this year, I think I should kick back a little bit and rest just a little bit. But before that, we have a few more shows planned. And I think right after that, 2024, who knows? We might even have to go on tour again. Yeah. Yeah.
Not a bad year, man. Not a bad year. Yeah. Well, brother, congratulations, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show and, you know, being an open book, and the fact that we got to, you know, swap some stories and experience a game called Speed together is something that I will never forget.
Man, I love that. Honestly, it was my highlight. It was my highlight. But wow, thank you so much. Thank you. It's an honor to have me here. It was very therapeutic, honestly, because, you know, the conversation was really nice. You know, you're an amazing host. The people here are so nice. So thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor.
Well, the door is always open, and I hope when you know, more music is ready, you send it my way.
Oh,
so we can play it. We can support you on the show, and
thank you.
Sit down and do this again. We'll have to dig through the crates, and we'll have to find another band to show you.
Oh my goodness, we should make that a thing.
We'll swap some records, dude.
I love that, man. Shout out to the Dreamers, by the way. Thank you so much.
Of course. Before I let you go, I'm sure this is going to be hard, but currently,
yes,
favorite song from the EP that I could take us out on.
Oh wow. After that, I was like, maybe Violet Crazy, because I think, definitely Violet Crazy.
It's the way that you wanted to end it. DPR Ian, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Travis Mills Show. Stay safe, stay positive, stay vigilant. I'm going to stay bringing you on an hour of music, more of your favorite songs from your favorite artists, and some that you might not know about yet. Peace.